Self-care has become one of the most recommended tools in mental health. We are told, go for that walk, book that massage, meditate, journal, practice gratitude. And while all these can be incredibly helpful, there's something that we don't talk about enough. Sometimes what might look like self-care might actually be emotional avoidance. Sometimes we are not regulating or feeling our emotions, we are simply distracting ourselves from them. And if every uncomfortable feeling is immediately met with a coping strategy, then we may never learn how to sit with the discomfort or even feel our feelings. So, how do you know whether you are genuinely taking care of yourself or you're simply caring for yourself in a way that keeps you disconnected from your emotional world? That is what we are going to be exploring today. Signs you're self-caring your way out of feeling your emotions. Sign number one, you can soothe yourself, but you don't know how to sit with yourself. This is one of the biggest signs. You know all the things that help you feel better. For example, a comfort show, a skincare routine, a reset day, a solo date, or even going for a walk. And while all these things can be genuinely helpful, the main question is what happens when these things are not available or when you're not able to do them? Because regulation is not only the ability to be able to calm yourself down, it is also the ability to remain present with yourself when you cannot immediately change how you feel. So many people have become very skilled at moving away from discomfort. The moment sadness appears, they soothe. The moment anxiety appears, they distract. The moment loneliness appears, they feel the space. And slowly, they never develop the ability to sit beside an emotion and simply just let it exist. Sign number two, your self-care routine is designed around never feeling bad. A subtle sign is when the goal of self-care becomes emotional control. Everything becomes about maintaining a certain internal state. For example, I need to stay positive, I need to protect my energy, I need to avoid anything that disrupts my peace. But emotions are not disruptions, they are part of being human being. And building a life that you only allow yourself to feel calm, happiness, and comfort isn't emotional freedom. It's emotional restriction. Healing isn't about becoming someone who never feels angry, sad, disappointed, or triggered. It's becoming someone who trusts themselves enough to move through those experiences. Sign number three, you constantly consume healing content but avoid emotional processing. This one is especially relevant in the mental health space. You know all the terminologies, you know your triggers, you know your attachment styles, you can explain your childhood patterns, you listen to podcasts, you read self-help books, and you save therapy posts. And all this information can be very valuable, but sometimes information can become another form of emotional distancing because understanding why you feel something isn't the same as allowing yourself to feel it. Someone can know exactly why abandonment hurts and still never sit with the grief of having felt abandoned. And someone can understand their inner child and still avoid confronting parts of themselves that are actually hurting. Insight is important, but insight without emotional processing becomes another way of staying in your head. Sign number four, you call everything a boundary when sometimes it's actually just fear. Now, this one needs nuance because boundaries are healthy and living toxic or harmful situations is healthy. But sometimes self protection can become self isolation. The question isn't whether you are allowed to live, the question is what are you exactly protecting yourself from? Are you protecting yourself from genuine harm? Or are you protecting yourself from the vulnerability of being seen, challenged, disappointed, or misunderstood? Sometimes the most emotionally avoidant thing you can do is create a life where nothing can hurt you. Because if nothing can reach you, then again, nothing can hurt you either. Sign number five, you keep trying to become healed instead of staying with yourself now. Some people turn healing into another achievement, another thing to perfect, another version of themselves to reach. They think once I become healed, I'll finally be okay. Once I fix this pattern, I'll finally accept myself. Once I become better, I'll finally feel worthy. But sometimes the pursuit of becoming healed is built on the belief that the current version of you is unacceptable. Real self-care isn't just about improving yourself. It's about staying connected to yourself, even in the parts that feel messy, painful, or unfinished. Self care was never meant to become another way we abandon ourselves. The goal isn't to eliminate difficult emotions. The goal is to become someone who can meet those emotions with compassion instead of immediately needing to escape them. The deepest form of self care isn't another thing you do. Sometimes it's the willingness to sit with what you've been trying so hard not to feel.